Hello. Nice to see all of you, and thank you all for joining us tonight for an hour on your busy 4th. Oh my gosh, October already, the Halloween season. I love this time of year, not just because of Halloween, but it's also a very spiritual time of year. I find people start really thinking about the holidays and loved ones that are no longer with us. Don't forget, after you have a as fun a Halloween as you can have this year during a pandemic. Don't forget the following day is All Saints Day. Pray to your favorite saints. And the following day after that is All Souls Day, Day of the Dead. Don't forget to say a special prayer for your loved ones that are no longer with us but are waiting for us to see us again one day. I'm going to start off with a prayer for quite a few people. I had quite a few requests for this past week. Ranging from Rev, do you believe in guardian angels? Rev, do you have a guardian angel? Rev, do you pray to your guardian angel? Rev, do you have a favorite prayer for a guardian angel? So I do, yes to all of that. I'm going to share with everybody a prayer that I pray to my guardian angel, and I'm going to ask that the prayer go out to everybody's guardian angel, especially these people that specifically reached out and said, would you share a prayer that I can start saying for my guardian angels? So this prayer is going out to all of us, but especially Allison, Erica, Brian, Andy, Susan, and Bruce. And you all know who you are. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. O most faithful companion, appointed by God to be my guardian, my protector and defender, and who never leaves my side, how shall I thank you for your faithfulness and love, and for the benefits which you have conferred upon me? You watch over me while I sleep. You comfort me when I am sad. You lift me up when I am down. You avert the dangers that threaten me. You warn me of those that are to come. You withdraw me from sin. You excite me to good. You exhort me to penance when I fail, and reconcile me to God. Leave me not, nor forsake me ever, I beseech you, but still comfort me in adversity, restrain me in prosperity, defend me in danger, assist me in temptations, lest at any time I fall beneath them. Offer up in the sight of the divine majesty my prayers and petitions, all my works of piety, and help me to preserve in grace until I come to everlasting life. Amen. And that goes out to everybody's guardian angel. Don't forget them. I also want everybody to know today Catholics observe a feast day for St. Francis of Assisi, the patron saint of animals and of peace. He was known to always be asking for God to have him be an instrument of peace. One of his famous sayings, which I will say to you right now, I have been all things unholy. If God can work through me, he can work through anyone, St. Francis. He was also has another great saying, all the darkness in the world cannot extinguish the light of a single candle. That is why it is very important, and there's a lot of power in lighting these candles with intent and prayer behind them. So this candle is going out for everybody and all their guardian angels tonight. Trust me, I know a few of you out there whose guardian angel is working overtime. So they deserve the extra prayers. A couple of quick announcements, guys, before I bring on my very special guest. There you go. A little St. Francis for you. Anything you need to know about me, you can find, where this is Reverend Shawn Whittington's Paranormal Ministry I'm your host with the ghost, Reverend Shawn, the Rev. Welcome to my haunted house. Keep your eye on the dream catcher right there. If it starts spinning, rocking back and forth, spirit is present. And it was doing that quite a bit just before the show started. So keep your eye on that. Anything you need to know about me, you can find at my website, www.ghost-b-gone.biz. And that is the ministry right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And what I want you to know about that website is there's a lot of cool things there. Matter of fact, these go fast. My old school Ghost Be Gone coffee mugs. Just got a new shipment of those in. People love coffee mugs for some reason. All the nice t-shirts and stuff on there, and they go for the coffee mugs. But what you'll find on that website is some interesting pages. In addition to being an ordained exorcist, I am a spiritual advisor, intuitive coach, listener. If you're having some issues of a spiritual nature, not necessarily attached to the paranormal, you can make an appointment to speak to me there, and I will do my very best to help you. You'll also find at the website the page called the WSE course/book. I am one of the founders of the Worldwide Society of Exorcists, and I offer a 12-week online college-level course, Introduction to Spiritual Warfare. Just had another good friend of mine who is a bishop take a look at my course. He gave it 2 crucifixes up, said it is perfect for the time right now and perfect for anybody seeking more knowledge about what spiritual warfare is truly all about. If you're interested in enrolling in that course, you can do that at the website. There's also a Worldwide Society of Exorcists Facebook page if you want to just read more about the course. But I love the course. My heart and soul has been put into that course. All my graduates get a stunning diploma suited for framing, along with some other very special blessed gifts that you can only get from yours truly, the Rev. So please keep my former students and current students also in your prayers tonight. You'll find my new haunted autobiography there, God, Ghosts, and the Paranormal Ministry, a true story inspired by spirit and divine intervention. And I quote, the scariest book I ever published. That was Annette Munich, owner and publisher of Stellium Books, my publisher. Sometimes it takes something scary, guys, to fight something even scarier. All the proceeds, now usually it's just part of the proceeds of every sale of the book, goes to support stjude.org and St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, Nevada. September was Children's Cancer Awareness Month. So that month, all of the proceeds from all book sales went to those 2 wonderful organizations. I've decided to extend that another month. So all the proceeds from all book sales of my book, God, Ghosts, and the Paranormal Ministry, goes to stjude.org, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, Nevada. And if you've already purchased the book, you're a part of that support group. God bless you for that. Some of you have had some issues with the book lately. I'm getting more and more reports of a possible attachment to the book. I'm going to send Carl an actual photo of this entity that I caught in the book, that I caught and put in the book. And we will, next time we get into a good discussion about it, we'll actually post that photo online and let you guys take a good look at what the fuss is all about. All right, guys, I am going to bring on the person why you all have showed up tonight. God bless him. It's 1 a.m., I think, in London right now. And as the true professional paranormal professional that he is, champion of all things ghostly and paranormal that he is, decided to wake up super early or stay up super late to be on with us live. He is the founder of Essex Ghost Investigations. And that's saying something to have a paranormal team as successful as his is in the most haunted country in the world. He is also host of Ghostly Hour, which you can catch Sunday afternoons here in the States on KCOR. Also known by Mr. Ghostly. Please welcome to the show the one and only David Cook. David, are you there, brother?
I'm here, Mr. Supernatural, sir.
David Cook. I don't know why I always laugh when I see you. You're not funny looking, but you're just you know you make me happy. I love talking to you. You're a good guy. You're at the top of the list of people that I would love to investigate with someday if I get my fat behind out there to England one of these days. I do have some questions for you from some of your followers and fans, and then I know we're going to get into just some um, all things ghostly talking. So let's start with I just heard some. Well, how's Boris?
Where do you want me to start?
Well, I know Boris just shut down the pubs again at what 10:30, and there's a partial. I know in Scotland, I was talking to some people up there, going back into some 2 week lockdown, complete lockdown in some areas. What's give us the up to the speed update on the pandemic in David Cook's world.
Right, from what I can work out, which isn't much from all the speeches he gives, pubs, clubs, restaurants all have to shut by 10 p.m. Restaurants is table service only. Work from home if you can. If you can't work from home, then go to work. And at the moment, it's just a complete mess.
Here too, brother. Here too. The whole world. The whole world, a matter of fact. And I know what I want to ask you. And this is going back quite some time now. I know many people in the paranormal field. They're just always so either sick or run down a lot. I know that we get a lot of attachments. I know that we get a lot of um, energy vampires attaching to us. Spirit, I don't. Many of them don't mean to, but just their presence and being close to you because you're like a beacon in the dark. They just naturally tend to zap your energy just being around you. I'm zapped all, living in a haunted home as I do. I'm zapped all the time. It's like I'm surprised I can sit here for an hour and talk with on camera and not fall asleep. It's like if I sit down anywhere else in the house, a couple of minutes in, I'm a goner because it just zaps you. And people that were once so healthy back in the day, they'll tell me a few years into doing a lot of paranormal investigations, I just started to have one odd illness after another and on and on and on. Now look at the world. Not only are we physically, well, it's referred to as the unseen enemy, but not only are we physically suffering a sickness, but now this sickness, and you know where I'm coming from. I know the devil's behind this. But the world is sick now up here. Very little bit of the veil left, very little bit of the protective shield around us spiritually. We've allowed the beast in. He's taking advantage of it. It's just like, I was watching the original Omen the other night, and there's that very chilling um, poem from Revelations that the priest says to the Gregory Peck character in the park there. And it is true, turning man against his brother, creating armies on either shore. What's your take on the sickness that the world is experiencing right now? And on a spiritual, paranormal, whatever level you want to put it on, how would David Cook like to advise we deal with that? And you're a sensitive person. I know you don't like to be slapped with the label of being a psychic or a medium or all that. At the very least, you're a very gifted empath. You attract spirit. You're very good at what you do. What are your thoughts on what I just dumped on you?
Well, when it comes to paranormal, I think too many people do too many investigations too quick. Because you get the ones that want to do one every week. And eventually it is going to take its toll on you. Because you've still got the last one on your mind that you're trying to figure out. Now you're trying to figure out the next one you're doing. And eventually you're going to burn yourself out. I'm the type of investigator that I go where people need me to go. I don't necessarily have to go every weekend or every week. So basically, if someone needs help, I know I'm at full capacity, I'm at full mental health, and I can go. So I pace myself, whereas others tend to just rush it all the time, and that's just not good. You've got to reset yourself. You've got to. As towards the pandemic and the way that people are now, I think it's fear. I think it's confusion because there are no basically straight answers to this. We're being told one thing, but then in another breath, we're being told something else. So I think people are now fed up. There's no straight answers. They don't know what to do. So they're just taking it upon themselves now to do what they want to do. And the trouble with that is it could obviously put people in danger because of the way this virus is contracted. But it's just confusion, it's fear, it's anxiety, it's anger. And I think the best way to resolve this is let's think about others other than ourselves. Now, I know people say, but if I don't think about myself, then I could pass it on to my family and this. That's understandable. But if you think of others, then you will get that back in return. I know it don't feel like it the way it is nowadays, but you will get it back in return. People will start thinking of you. So we need to work together. Forget all the hate, forget all the confusion, forget all the fear. We know what we have to do. So we need to start doing it. And the sooner we do, the sooner we can eliminate the hate, we can eliminate the violence, and let's all work together. Let's get through this together.
Very well said. You know I love you. You got a good heart. You're a good man. Um, I'm being the message I'm getting right now is from my guardian angel, who is asking that everybody you can say not only a prayer to your guardian angel, but you can attach a devotion to that, a request to that, and they will directly carry that up to God for you. And I'm being told I couldn't buy everybody a gift. I'm being told to show the gift I bought everybody tonight. I wasn't going to show it, but I did buy this beautiful angel statue, which I had blessed, and that's going to go with the large candle for everybody's guardian angel tonight. So you can do that. You can also, I mentioned St. Francis tonight on this day, on this special day. You can say a prayer to St. Francis and then add a devotion to that. Remember, he's one of the first people thought to have the authentic stigmata of Jesus Christ. So he's a very powerful saint to ask for help from on this special day of his. Well said, brother. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I just feel so bad about all the people that have lost their businesses, lost loved ones. I'm still trying to wrap my head around all of the elderly that passed away in the beginning, that they weren't able to say goodbye. They were alone. They weren't able to say goodbye to their loved ones. Their surviving family members weren't able to say goodbye to them. They were all, many of them, buried in mass graves. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. I think that's going to be something that's going to be talked about for a long time. COVID did in a lot of teams too this year. A lot of teams, for obvious reasons, dissolved. Sharon and we didn't dissolve, but we made a conscious decision because no one seems to know what the hell this is we're dealing with. Since I'm 60 and she's 70, just turned 77, God bless her, still has way more energy than I do, works a full-time job. I'm just part-time. But we made a conscious decision not to go physically to work cases. We would do all counseling, still take cases in, but do all counseling. You have Essex Ghost Investigations. How's your team doing? How did this affect your team?
Same with me, pretty much. It's pretty much all come to a halt. Not really a lot coming in at the moment. I'm getting messages sent to me from people that are having trouble with paranormal activity, and I'm helping them remotely. But other than that, actually going to someone's house, that's all dried up. But it's nice to know that I can still do it remotely, and if they do need help, I'm always here.
Absolutely. I know you. I know at the very least, I'm safe to say that you're a spiritual individual. And I can't remember. I'm sure I asked you this question. I can't, for the life of me, I can't remember what your answer was. Are you a religious person?
I'm not a religious person, no.
Do I've talked to many people who say that same thing to me, but God bless them, they still believe in guardian angels. A lot of, I have psychic friends that practice reading the angel cards in rather than the tarot or saint cards, what have you. And they believe in the angel religion. Do you believe in guardian angels? And if so, do you ever talk to yours or ever had an and something happened to you that this there was somebody looking out for me on the other side that helped me get through this.
Yeah, I believe in angels. I've seen them.
There you go.
I've
There you
seen them.
go.
And
Were
also
they
believe in
was it the traditional um, biblical style vision?
no.
No,
No.
me neither. I've never seen one like that. Mine. Do you remember the original Rocky Horror Picture Show back in the day?
Ah, yes, fantastic.
My guardian angel, and a lot of people laugh when I say this, she looks like a young Susan Sarandon from that era of her popularity, a young Susan Sarandon. And I've seen her twice. And both times they were life-saving situations. One um, from drowning, and the other time I saw her, I fell asleep at the wheel and was about to drive off a cliff, and she woke me up right in the nick of time. So very, very interesting that you believe in the angels, and that makes me feel good for you. And I believe that's important to have some type of. Most of the very successful people in this field of ours have some type of strong spirituality going on. They don't necessarily have to be Catholic or Christian, but they're at the very least very spiritual people that do believe. Do you believe in a higher, like we all know that evil exists? I don't know if you believe in the devil, um, but many people believe that if that exists, there's something, some power of a higher vibrational um, feel of love and light that is against that and watches over us. And uh, what's your take on that?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I've seen my guardian. He's a Native American chief, so he's a Red Indian. He come dressed in all the ceremonial dress that he wore, and I actually saw him while I was meditating, and we was actually sitting on a beach. Unfortunately, I couldn't see his face. I don't know why, but we had a good chat. He told me that he's going to be there no matter what, which I was grateful for because, to be honest, like you said earlier, my guardian angel has been doing a lot of overtime lately.
Yeah, uh-huh. Everybody's has
but
mine.
but no, I believe in both sides, and I believe that we need both sides in order to create a balance in the energy that we have, and it's up to us as people now to decide what side we wish to go on. I'm lucky. I've had such a good upbringing. I've had nothing but positivity from my parents, and even when I was telling them about things I was seeing, they always believed me. So I'm lucky. I'm
Oh yeah,
very lucky.
absolutely.
But yeah, I do believe that we do need both sides in order to balance life.
Um, you to this day, gosh, I'd give anything just to spend some serious investigative time in London. Tower of London. You still to this day, I have to say the one picture that you showed me, and I should have given it to Carl. I'm going to start remembering if there's something I want to pick out in a show that I want people to actually see, that I'm able to show them that we talk about. I'll send him the picture ahead of time, have him fit it in, and he can get it up on the screen. But you have a wonderful photo that you took of the Tower of London, which I still think is one of the best paranormal photos of the Tower of London that I've ever seen. And anybody, if you want to see it, David's got a wonderful Facebook page. Not only his personal profile, but he's got Essex Ghost Investigations Facebook page. You'll see the pictures at the top of one of the castle turrets, the photo that he took. Excellent. There was a time, brother. Um, we do have a question here. Oh, my wife. Hi, Sharon. Didn't know she was watching the show. She must be in the kitchen. I'm like, Sharon Whittington. That name sounds familiar. She says, "What type of books does he read? There's a whole wall behind him. Are they paranormal?" Oh yeah, wow. I thought they were actually. I didn't want to ask because I didn't know TMI. You know what might be going on back there, but yeah, are you a big like I have? Like if I panned the camera to either one of these corners, like behind the camera here, my room looks like the opening scene in the library in Ghostbusters. Books, stacks of books. I haven't had any issues with the books being restacked or, you know, moved around like in the movie, but I get sent a lot of books. Sharon buys me a lot of books. I read as much as I can, even though I'm not a huge reader, but so many paranormal books. What do you got going on behind you there? And if uh,
Well, it does get mistaken for books, but
and
at the top,
yeah,
that's musical CDs.
oh, very cool.
Underneath that, DVDs.
Movies.
Yep. And underneath that, more movies.
Are you a big reader?
It's turned that way, yeah. So I'm just looking at the books I'm getting now. And I think I'm going to start a library soon.
Very, very
And
cool. Yeah, it comes down to that. Reminded me of being zapped, and I know a lot of people have this, but it used to not be this way for me. I sit down to read a book. Oh my god! Uh, I'm just next thing I know, I wake up and my face is in the book, and I don't know how long I've been asleep for. It's one of those things. But Tower of London, brother. Last time we spoke, you were thinking about trying to arrange either an overnighter there, which what do what limb do you got to hack off and give to the governor to get permission to do that? Or you were thinking about putting a tour together because, I mean, there is so much on a paranormal level. I mean, you just think of things like the Jack the Ripper tours. I know they already got some, but I know you could put your special spin on it, taking people to some other haunted locations, which that tour doesn't do. But what's the latest on you possibly? And I know the pandemic and COVID threw a huge monkey wrench in everybody's plans this year's for that stuff. But how far did you get on putting that together?
well, I've got a new development with the photograph. It turns out the tower that it was photographed at is called Bowery Tower. Now, I've looked up their website. There is still a society going, and it turns out that they use longbows.
Hmm.
So now I'm looking along the theory. It's not been confirmed yet, but I'm looking along the theory of what I captured in that picture was actually archers.
Hmm.
So it's not actually confirmed yet. I'm
Very
still doing
interesting.
research on it, but I've now got a different lead to which I can go down.
Very interesting.
I
And
also
for
have a connection with the Tower of London, which is King Henry the First. And I believe he was my 20. I've got the paper here. I think he's about my 27th great granddad.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding me.
No,
You got to get in there. You have to get in that place. Just like, it's my dream to finally get out to England and get over to Shropshire and see Whittington Castle. You got to get in there, brother. I mean, that's an unmistakable tie there that you got to follow through with that. Oh my gosh, the Tower of London. I would buy that. I would totally buy into it being archers because it's like in Scotland, many people see the clan. If the clan owned and lived, a significant amount of time in that particular castle, they all had clan pipers in many castles. The pipers seen on top of walking on top of the castle wherever they walk, a walkway or what have you, or out in front of the castle roaming the grounds. So the archers are very important, especially in English castle warfare from the top of the tower turrets. I would totally buy that. That might be that. I'm taking another good look at that photo tonight. Maybe on Halloween, I'll do a. I'll send Carl. I'm not going to overload him, but I'll send him a half a dozen or so of my best paranormal photos to share with the audience, in addition to what we got planned. Um, and we even discussed a little bit earlier tonight that you might be a part of that. My show that on Halloween night, Halloween falls on a Saturday. My show's usually Sunday, but we're not going to have a show that Sunday of that weekend. I'm going to move it a day forward and actually do a special Reverend Shawn Whittington's Paranormal Ministry Halloween night episode live from Scotland for the first hour. And if I do a second hour of it, I know we talked about maybe I would tap into you again, just like we are tonight, because you will probably just be getting home from your investigation and have a lot of personal experiences and some evidence possibly to share with us that night. So I'm hoping that works out. That'll be and my show's usually only an hour, so to have a special Saturday night, Halloween night, Reverend Shawn Whittington's Paranormal Ministry, live from Scotland and England, 2 hours. I can't wait. So are you in on that? Can I make that official announcement tonight?
I am in.
And that's not the only big thing that's going on. I mean, my two producers, WO Entertainment and Paranormal Nation Radio, they're my producers. They're going to set a record for uh, being on the radio a certain amount of hours, and it's going to be continuous. And it's a lot of hours. They're gonna pull it off. They're all professionals, and I'm going to be, I believe, kicking that whole thing off. But anybody that's interested, you can go to WO Entertainment Facebook page or Paranormal Nation Radio Facebook page and check out what they've got planned starting on Halloween night and setting the record for uh, the longest broadcast continuous ever. That's going to be really cool. And it goes to support a lot of good things. You can find out more about the different things that they're supporting, but I always fall back on what I feel is the most important thing and the heart and soul of those two organizations, and that's helping the vets. Vet suicide, being a vet myself, and my father having been a 25-year retired Master Chief radio man from the Navy. I'm into that. So it's all a lot of the proceeds and things they do are to prevent vet suicide, which is off the charts right now. So I'm looking forward to that, man. That's gonna be great.
Well, what I'll do as well, I'll send you a sound clip that I got from the last investigation at the place I'm going to.
Very cool.
And it was, let's just say, very unexpected.
I can't wait, man. You always surprise me. You never fail to deliver. I think Halloween's going to be a great night. So it's official, man. I'm actually making the decision right now. Special 2 hour show with me. First hour, Scottish Paranormal and Haunted Scotland. They're the joint organizations. They're going to be investigating live stream from a castle that's never been investigated before, but rumored to be haunted off the charts. And then after that last hour of their investigation, we'll pop right over and connect back up with you, and we'll go over your investigation that night. That's going to be very, very cool. How are your ghosts doing? Your friends and family, and on both sides of the veil, and followers want to know because you you're like me. You live in a haunted home there. One special little ghost that that I know about. How are my ghosts are doing great. How's my dream catcher doing? I see the dream catcher moving, and my dowsing rods. We're going to get into that in a little bit here too, because you have an experiment you're going to show me. But my dowsing rods are vibrating a little bit. My dream catcher's moving. My spirits have been very well behaved lately. On the topic of family ghosts, before you give me the rundown on yours, I had a sighting of a ghost here, which was very English, just the head. And then when I followed the head into my office here, got online, I come to realize that there's an investigative, big paranormal team, did a whole week-long investigation at my family castle. Obviously, the two are tied together, and they stirred up some of the family spirits, and one decided to come and visit me. So talk to me about, introduce your little ghost friend to my viewers that may not know about him, and how your ghosts are doing.
Well, my little ghost friend, his name is Charles. He's 6.5 years old. I met him at Fallance House Museum, which is in Dagenham in Essex. We was on an investigation now. Now, the story goes that he pushed his sister down the stairs and she died. Sadly, this isn't true. Or I should say, gratefully, this isn't true. Once me and Charles got connected, he come and showed me what actually happened. What happened was his sister did run down the stairs. She knocked the toy that he was playing with. As she's run, she's got a absolutely beautiful, long, lacy dress. And unfortunately, as she put her right foot forward, she trod on the dress, started going forward, and as he put his hands out to try and catch her, unfortunately he missed. Now, the housemaid who was walking across the hallway at the time heard a girl scream, looked over the top of the stairs, saw Charles with his hands outstretched, and the little girl on the floor. So she automatically assumed that Charles pushed her. So she went and told the lord of the house. He was obviously irate, did not believe Charles, that he was trying to save her, basically ousted him from the family, cut all ties to him. So unfortunately he didn't have the best of childhoods and the best of lives after that. But when he told me, next time I went back there, we actually had it confirmed by Charles that this was true. Reunited him with his mum, because basically that's all he wanted. He just wanted to be reunited with his parents. He wanted them to know the truth. And ever since then, me and him have had this strong connection. He's changed the TV over in my house a few times. And he's mischievous, but he's absolutely lovely kid. He now protects his sister in the afterlife. So he's actually protecting her now from people. And I think sometimes that's why he may sort of play tricks on people to get him away from his sister.
What age did he live to when he was alive?
From what I can gather, he was not that old. He was only in his 40s when he passed away.
Okay, this is what I've been dying to ask you, and it happens a lot to me too, working cases. English ghosts are so, I mean, you go back to like stories that Charles Dickens wrote about hauntings he experienced. The moaning, the groaning, the chains. People talk about hearing the chains all the time. The ghost with no head or just the head. That's also very English. And later on I can get into what makes Scottish ghosts so interesting. But talk to me about your opinions on what makes these English ghosts like that so very English, and why so many ghosts come back younger. Like you have your ghost friend lived till he was in his 40s, but he comes back and he's haunting as a 6-year-old. Do you have any theories about that and why that happens?
Well, I think what makes an English ghost more English is films. That's a big influence. Like the Headless Horseman, for example.
Yeah.
Obviously, in history, we had a load of beheadings. And then heads put on spikes. So obviously, that used to be the way that we dealt with thieves and criminals. The reason why I think they come back at a younger age is possibly that is where their problems started, and they need to resolve that problem before they can actually move on or rest. So there's some sort of traumatic event that happened at that time in their life, and now they've come back because it needs to be sorted. The truth needs to be told, and till it does, they just won't rest.
Very interesting. Very interesting take on that. Yeah, there's right away when I saw that apparition, it was just so English. And then I've had ancestors visit before, but that was the first time I had seen something like that. And this sitting down right at that time, and the first thing I see when I go online is there's been a paranormal team at my family castle for that whole week leading up to that evening investigating there. I knew that they were tied together, which I find very interesting. But yeah, brother, I was planning to go to Ireland next year. Just right now, I had to make a heartbreaking decision to cancel that trip because I'm not just sure in May where we're going to be with the pandemic and travel restrictions, so forth. So we're tentatively planning to go back in 2022. But if we do, we've already made the decision we're going to flip from Ireland, which I'm going to get back to one of these days. But we're going to switch and we're going to go to Scotland, visit some notoriously uh, Mary Queen of Scott haunted locations because Sharon's related to her. We're going to migrate south into England, and then we're going to definitely one of the stops will be Shropshire to see Whittington Castle, and maybe you'll be able to get over there. How far are you from where you're at in London to Shropshire?
Um, I suppose I'm about three and a half hours drive away.
You know what? When are you going to get to see the Rev again, live and up close, where you can poke me in the belly and I can laugh like the Pillsbury Doughboy? Um, you got to make the drive. If I get out there with Sharon to see the castle, and if you can get out there any other time and investigate my family castle, I would love that. And I know that I could bring you on and have you share all your personal experiences and your evidence and so forth. That would be very, very cool. Um, you're also host of Ghostly Hour, which is a much better show than Vegas Supernatural, so I'm very jealous. Um, I love your show. You've been doing it a long time. Who's your? That's late for you there in England, but it airs here. What 3 in the afternoon, U.S. time?
It's 2 p.m. Pacific,
2 p.m. Pacific.
4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. So it works out
On
about 10 p.m. UK time.
Very cool, and that's on KCUR where I have my Monday night show. Like I said, I love the show. You're great at what you do. I am actually not tomorrow night, but next Monday. I'm actually celebrating my 5 year anniversary with that show on that network. And I had decided when I started this, I would only do it for 5 years. Now I can't imagine stopping unless my show gets so bad and that Tina kicks me off the air. We'll see how that goes. But so I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun. Who do you got as a guest next week?
I have Chanel Stevens from was it Elite Fiction Paranormal? EVP for short.
Very, very cool. I'll make sure I catch that. That sounds like it's going to be uh, a good show. What else do your followers want to know about you? Uh, English ghosts, dowsing rods. Dowsing rods. They want to know about your home experiment. Let's see what mine are doing right now. Mine are Mine always want to point at me. I don't get it. But they're not as active as they normally are. They were shaking a little bit. I want to find something I can mount them on so they're on screen during the shows, and if they're active, they'll be active while I'm on air and people can see that. I haven't figured out what I'm gonna mount them on so that people can see them.
What I want to do with these is basically get something to place them in.
Absolutely.
I know people say we need our energy for these to work. Now, I'm going to be honest with people. They take a lot of practice to use correctly. They really do. Because the trouble is, they're so free, so loose, that even the slightest hand movements can move them. So what I want to do is put them in something like a block of wood or something, leave them so that there's no human interaction with them, so we're not touching them on nothing, then see how the energy moves around them.
Very interesting. And I'm gonna go to the next level and maybe have one of these mounted next to it. So when you see the activity, you've got your old school EMF detector. This one happens to show the fluctuation in temperature, the fluctuation in the EMF field, give you a base reading, and then it also has the lights that flicker on the top when spirit is near. So you might have want to mount one of those there too. Let me know what you end up coming up with. I need to find a way to mount mine here so we can see them on screen. And if they're, going to be on something, you know, doing their thing, we can see. In addition to everybody, always, I'm going to get several messages tonight. Had my eyes fixed on your dream catcher tonight. Very active, or wasn't so active tonight, Rev. But and I never even thought that would be an issue for the show when I started it. It was already in here, mounted where it was at, and it was not clients, but people that watched the show that were already reaching out to me after the first few episodes saying, "We noticed you have a dream catcher hanging behind you. It's very active during your show tonight." So, of course, I always make sure it's not near a vent. I make sure the vents are all closed and the AC's off. It's usually like an oven in here during the show, and no fans are on, and it does what it does. But let me know. I'll be interested to know what you find to mount yours with, because I would like to mount them so people can see them. Because very often when I'm here talking, I don't pay attention to them because I'm trying to keep with the flow of the show and what I'm talking with my guest about. But in my cup here, the handles that you would normally have your handle on are doing this because they're sitting in a cup with a bunch of pens and markers. It's doing that.
Well, what I
So
plan on doing as well is having this beside it. It's my
cool.
thermal imaging camera, and I've put it on
Oh
so
yeah,
you can see it.
absolutely. I just thought that was a temperature thing, a gauge at first, a laser temperature thing, but or thermal imaging. Yeah, that's going to be awesome to have that fixated on them, and when they're active to see what shows up on those. So very, very interesting. You're way ahead of me on that. Good for you. Well, that's why I'm a reverend and you're an elite parahunter.
And also as well, just to make sure that perhaps if something is touching them, then perhaps I'll use something like this to see if I can hear them as well.
Classic. I got to get me one of those. I always wanted one of those. Always wanted one of those.
Don't worry, folks, I'm not a spy, honestly.
What else do some of your fans want to know about you? Oh, this is a good one, brother. Do you ever investigate your own home? I don't have to. Plus, I also don't because it's active enough. I don't really need it to be any more active than it is. I don't want if there, I occasionally get some ugly drive-bys if I have a case coming down the pike that's of a malevolent nature. That gives me kind of the red flag that something's coming down. I've got a conflict coming that I got to get ready for. So I just let it be. Um, I miss my mother and father. They're both in heaven. May they both rest in peace. I've never thought about conjuring them. My sisters would kill me if they knew that I did anyway. After they had passed, they both tell me all the time, don't conjure mom and dad. If they want to visit you, they will, and they do. But um, I don't investigate my own home. How do you feel about that? You're going to do this experiment in your home. It's not really investigating. You're just going to see what the rods do and have a thermal imager on it. But have you ever just did a full blown investigation on your home? And if not, why?
I wouldn't say full blown, but I have actually done an investigation on my own home. I even trained up a member of my team here as well.
Oh, very cool.
I thought I'll see how he goes and perhaps give him some pointers if he needs them. Sadly, everything that he thought he got on camera, we managed to find an alternative reason for it.
That's
So,
okay. That is totally okay.
yeah, yeah. I'd rather know what it is, because then at least I can rule that out before I say for certain whether or not it was paranormal. So, if I find a different reason as to what it might be, brilliant. It's answered that question. If I haven't found an answer, then it's like, right, well, perhaps try something else to see if that works, get the same results. So I'm always looking for a reasonable answer before I actually turn around and say, yes, it was paranormal, or no, it wasn't. It was due to this instead.
One question here. Somebody wants to know, how did Mr. Ghostly become Mr. Ghostly? Uh, I like that question because I was the one that gave you the nickname Mr. Ghostly. So that's why I like the question. But, you ask 50 ghost hunters, ghostbusters, how did you get in this field? And you're going to get 50 different answers. And they're all unique to that individual and all astounding. What the bug of that bites us of this pseudoscience field that many think we're all whack jobs for being involved in. How did you become Mr. Ghostly?
It started at the age of 6 when I told my mum she was not my first mum. Yeah. Well, apparently, I told her the name of my first mum, but where it was so long ago, I can't remember. And now my mum has passed, I can't find it out. And she didn't remember when she was alive. So it's like, right, we'll have to forget that bit for now then, and hopefully I can go to past life regression hypnosis and find out the name. But then things started getting a bit, I won't say weird, but started getting a bit more advanced because I was hearing things, telling people things that I should not know. And as you mentioned with Ireland, I actually managed to pinpoint an unmarked grave in Ireland, and it was related to the person I was talking to at that time.
Wow.
And I was sitting at my home here in England. So, thinking about it, I thought to myself, I can help people with this. I can actually do some good with this. And that's when sort of everything really sort of picked up. And obviously, where I was practicing, my strength become more, my connection become stronger. And as for the Mr. Ghostly part, that was a bit of an accident, should we say, a lucky accident. Uh, our friend Jessica Johns, who's on KCOR as well on Wednesdays, she told me she was going to have a show on now called Reality Check, and it was going to do with conspiracies, ghosts, things like this. I think that's right up my street. I love it. So I listened, wrote a review about her first show. Tina asked if she could publish it on their page on KCOR website, and I'm like, yeah, please do. I was shocked. Something I wrote is getting published. Like, whoa. So then me and Tina got talking. Now this was the joke part. I really did not plan on having a show at all. I didn't even think about it. I said to Tina as a joke, could you imagine my voice on the radio over there? Because I know Americans love an English accent,
I know
and
I've joked around before about having the just when you're on having the words pop up and then have the bouncing ball. But
yeah,
I'm just joking. I understand you. Um, uh,
but yeah, me and Tina, and then Tina said, well, if you want, we can do it remotely. She said, like, what would you talk about? Well, I said, well, the thing I probably know most about, which, to be honest, since doing the show, I've realised that I knew very little about. All mine was just basically based on experience and theories. So I said, well, ghosts, spirits, paranormal. And she said, there you go, you got a show right there. So
yeah.
I'm thinking, hold on, what just happened? What's going on? It was a joke, you know? But then I thought about how many people I could help on a wider scale rather than just trying to explain things one on one. So I thought, give it 6 months, see how you go, because this shows how naive I was. I wasn't even thinking about guests. So I was totally new to it, no experience whatsoever. So thank you, Tina, for taking the chance on me.
Absolutely. Your
And
story is
well,
very similar to mine. Yeah.
sort of 4.5 years later, I'm still doing it.
Well, that's not only are our stories very similar, but the way we approach this is also very similar. All I ever wanted to do was help people, and I had good support from my family. I didn't come out of, for lack of a better term, I didn't come out of the closet with, my ability to see spirit and feel spirit and uh, my hunger for investigating the paranormal too much later in life, even though I was doing my fair share of ghost busting as I was growing up on the side, kind of on the down low. But the people that are worried about numbers, like I don't, if it's only 10 people watching my podcast right now, I know it's 10 people that like me and love me. And there's something about me that resonates for them and they're having a good time. And that's all that matters to me. Too many people doing what we do are worried about numbers. How many people are they, how many likes do they got? How many people are, watching the show? And evidence. Too many people are hung up on producing that, you know, piece of evidence that's going to make them famous. I can't tell you how many, like even the evidence that I have in my book. Those are some of the best spirit photos ever. And I learned a long time ago that it doesn't matter how good they are, there's always going to be people out there that are going to try and debunk them or say, come up with 1,000 excuses as to why they're not legit. So I did change. It did bother me a little bit in the beginning, not so much anymore, but I changed and I only put out pictures if I can attach a strong personal experience with that photo. But also my approach is totally different. It's all about helping my client. Like I wear I'm still using this old ghost box with earbuds. No one can hear what is communicating to me on that when I'm in an investigation but me. And I'm psychically throwing my questions out and I'm getting the answers I need off of that piece of equipment, which is about as old as it gets, old school as it gets. But I'm not on a TV show, so I'm not worried about my evidence. I'm worried about closure for the client and results that's going to help me bring closure and help get their life back for them. And that's all that's important. Worrying about the numbers and worrying about the evidence, of, capturing the big evidence. That's where all of these new generation guys are missing the boat. You're not nearly as old as me, but you're not a teenager. So you're in um, that generation right with mine, right on the back end of mine, where we still get that part of what this is all about, which is helping people. So God bless you, brother. Don't change. It'll hurt my soul if you ever change because I love you. You're just got a good heart.
Well, I'll have to change later before I go to bed, but other than that, I ain't going to change.
601. What do you know? Yeah, we're gonna do 2 hours. I'm gonna do 2 hours Saturday night. Let me give a quick before I get cut off here. And God bless my main producer, Carl Albertson of Paranormal Nation Radio. He would never just cut me off. But we all have families. It is a Sunday. I got dinner waiting for me. Carl's got a family too. Tomorrow night on Vegas Supernatural, I've got the director of Paranormal Adventures Australia. We're headed to Australia. She is known as Raven, but her name is Sola. What a beautiful first name, huh? And I hope I don't butcher her last name. It is Vaitsis. I probably butchered it. And if you're watching Raven, I'm sorry, but that's going to be a great show. I'll be back here next Sunday, the 11th, with another brand new episode of this show. And he's back by popular demand already. You guys asked for him, I deliver. Jason D. Varga, also from Australia. We're going back to visit him, and that should be pretty cool. But brother, I love you. I respect you. I'm so glad you were able to take an hour out of your extremely late night or early morning there in London to spend with me and my viewers. We all appreciate that. Trust me, from the bottom of my heart, we appreciate that. I can't wait to hook up with you on Halloween night. That's going to rock. Until then, you stay blessed and don't change, man. Stay you. Give my best to your little ghost friend there. I've got a little youngin' spirit here that my wife and I see from time to time, and so many people think that the apparition of a small child is automatically bad, and it could be further from the worst. You know, if you're around in this field long enough, you know when the apparition is of a darker, more malevolent nature and up to no good than it just being what it is. Any parting advice, words of wisdom, anything Mr. David Cook, Mr. Ghostly would like to say before I bid you a fond farewell?
Basically, everyone, find the love in your heart, cherish those memories, and please keep them now. Don't let all this get to you and turn you into something you are not.
God bless you, brother. David Cook, you have a great evening. Get some rest, okay?
What's rest?
God, my blessings go out to you. I'll be in touch, okay, brother? You're good. Did you just drop a mic on me?
I did.
Okay, I don't have one, so here. I'm dropping the earbuds on you. Good night, brother. I'll talk to you later. Brothers and sisters, host of Ghostly Hour on KCOR Sundays, founder of Essex Ghost Investigations, Mr. Ghostly, and also Mr. London After Midnight, Tower of London. Can you imagine being in that area, living in that area? Doesn't get any better than that. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I really did. Yeah, I'll be here next week. You can catch me tomorrow night. Don't forget to catch the other shows on WO Entertainment and Paranormal Nation Radio. All of them rock. They got a little bit of something for everybody. It's not all paranormal. Got all kinds of stuff. A little bit of something for everybody. So, everybody have a blessed week. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I don't have a show without you. Hope you had a good time. I sure did. On that note, good night, Harold. Rest in peace. Good night, Ernie. Good night, Bill. Good night, Dan. God bless you all. I'll drop the earbuds again one more time. I'm out.